What would happen if they got rid of the Social Security cap? All right, so remember the cap is the earnings. You don't pay any Social Security tax. That's a 6.2% of your total FICA. The 6.2 is for old age, survivor, and disability, right? OASDI, that's what that stands for. So once you make over 160, you don't pay that 6.2% anymore. You still got to pay the Medicare 1.45, but not the old age, survivor, disability. And that's the big part of your total 7.65% taxes you got to pay for FICA. And people are like, just get rid of the cap. It'll solve everything. I hear this all the time. I'm like, will it? Will. We're going to get into some PVC pipe of knowledge. We're going to get into some of that here in just a second. All right, but historically, Social Security, the earnings, all the taxable earnings, about 90% of taxable earnings were subject to Social Security tax historically. About 6% of total employees made more than the Social Security maximum. All right, so we have 100 employees, 6% made more than 160 in today's dollars. Of those 100 employees, 90% of their income was subject to Social Security tax. Now, we still have about 6% make more than the 160. I am one of those 6%. Praise the Lord, man. Hallelujah. I do make more than that. And I am part of the 6%. The issue now, though, is that only 82% of earnings are actually covered by Social Security taxes. So what we have is we have this widening gap. The richer are making more and more money relative to everybody else, even though Chloe just came back from the University of Georgia, so the dog's going nuts. So the richer are making more and more money relative to everybody else. So we still have the same 6% of the workforce is making more than the Social Security earnings max, right? Earnings cap, but they're making more every year relative to what it has historically been. So again, only 82% of all earnings are now subject to Social Security tax. 90% has been the average, and that's what they're shooting for when they do these numbers about Social Security solvency and whatnot. All right, so what we're going to do here is we got Joe Schmo and we got Scanlon. Let's see, Scanlon, well, it's because I am kind of Joe Schmo, ain't I? We'll say this is Elon. No, we don't want Elon Musk. Who are we going to pick on here? Let's pick on, we'll just say Elon Musk. We'll say here's Elon Musk. He makes $1 million a year. And here's your old buddy Joe Schmo. All right. Slovenly Josh. I actually got, I don't know if you can see it right there. I got a little bit, yep, right there. Why do I ever have a white shirt on when I'm eating salsa? Literally, the salsa could be the other side of the room. I'm like magnet. It'll sit on my shirt every single time. This is why I don't have white shirts. Looks looks like it's a little bit delayed here. So it's kind of like a Japanese karate movie. All right, so anyway, so here's Elon Musk. Remember, you only get Social Security based on your top 35 years of indexed earnings. That's it. So if Elon Musk was making $1 million for 50 years, he's only getting Social Security on his top 35 years. That's it. All right. So those other 15 years of $1 million that he was paying tax on, the top 160,000 are just gone. And same with you and me, by the way. And here's your old buddy, Slovenly Josh. I made $60,000 on average, my average index monthly earnings. All right. So again, what we're doing is we're trying to get our AIME, our average index monthly earnings. So Elon Musk's, and if you haven't, you got to keep subscribed to this channel if you're not familiar with how this works. I do lots of videos on Social Security. Devin Carroll probably knows a little bit more than me. But on that, I interview Andrew Biggs. He probably knows a little bit more than me. But I'm the best game in town when it comes to this stuff. And that's why we got, does Devin Carroll got the PVC pipe of knowledge? No. Does Andrew Biggs have the PVC pipe of knowledge? No, he plays a guitar. I don't know what the hell Devin does. He sits there and, what does he say? He's in Texas. That's what Devin Carroll says. When you're going to the store to buy some white ice cream. I love Devin. He's a good guy. Andrew Biggs, he plays his guitar and ukulele or something like that. No one's got the PVC pipe of knowledge. All right, anyway, so we got two guys, Elon and Slovenly Josh. Elon's AIME is 83,333. Mine's 5,000. All right, so we know from according to Social Security website that the bend points in 2024 are this. The first bend point, anything up to 1226 of your AIME you'll get 90% on. All right, so both of us have more than 1226 of the first bend point. So we're both going to get $1,103 off our first bend point. All right, we know that for a fact. Slovenly Josh will get 1103 and Elon Musk will get 1103. That's a fact because our AIME is more than the first bend point. Now the second bend point, you get 32% of that. So in this case, the second bend point goes from 1226 to 7391, which gives us 6,165. Now Elon Musk has more than the second bend point. He's got even the third bend point. So we know for a fact he's going to get the maximum of the second bend point, which is $6,165 times by 0.32. You only get 32% of the second bend point. So he'll get 1972. So he's got 1103 plus 1972. Now I don't have the max here because I only got 5,000 as the AIME. So my second bend point will only be 1207. So you can see here, here's my first bend point, my second bend point. My total Social Security monthly payment is $2310. All right. Elon Musk, on the other hand, has money in the third bend point. He's got $77,391 in the third bend point. And that times that by 0.15. That's his third bend point amount, which is $11,391. All right, so we factor in first bend point for Elon, second bend point for Elon, third bend point for Elon. He's going to get $14,466 a month in Social Security, which is $173,595 a year. Me, on the other hand, I don't even get the third bend point. I'm not even full in the second bend point. I only got right there. My two bend points are $2,310. All right, so $2,310 is my Social Security if my average index monthly earnings was $5,000. So I will get $27,000 a year. Elon's going to get $173,000 a year, right? I get 46% of my income is being replaced by Social Security. That's not too shabby. So almost a half of my wage income is being replaced by Social Security. 17.3% of Elon's is. Now, when the point being is $173,000 a year for those 6% of the people, and this is just assuming you got $1 million. Well, if you had 2 million, but whatever. For those 6% of the population who are paying more than the earnings cap. So if you got rid of the cap, they're going to pay taxes on the entirety of that $1 million. But they're going to be qualified for a Social Security benefit of $173. When all these people say get rid of the earnings cap, it'll help the solvency of Social Security, do they actually take this into consideration? I have no clue, frankly. I don't know. If you know, put it in the comments. I don't know. I don't know if they just look at the income, the taxable income they're going to get from the earnings cap, getting rid of the earnings cap, but do they also look at the benefit that goes with it, the corresponding benefit? I just don't know. And that's from top. Do we really want people making $173,595 a year in Social Security with cost of living adjustments equal to us? I don't know how you do that. So I'm not sure how you would do that, get rid of the cap and then say, we're going to get rid of the earnings cap, but then we're going to cap your Social Security benefit? That doesn't seem fair to me, man. It doesn't seem fair. So get rid of the earnings cap. You got to pay all these taxes, but we're going to cap your benefit at $4,000 a month. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So what I would do instead is maybe have a fourth bend point, maybe 0.1 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or even better, what I'd do is I'd change that second bend point to 0.4 and reduce this bend point to 0.1. That's what I would do. Say, okay, we're going to give you a bump to Slovenly Josh. We'll give you a bump and reduce the people who have more. And that will not just be Elon Musk, by the way. That'll be me. Actually, I don't have that much. No, I don't have any money into the third bend point. Yeah. Because you'd have to have 7391. You'd have had to have your average index monthly earnings would have to be over 7391 times 12. 80. I'm getting close. Not quite there. So that's not quite there. It's be about $88,000 to be above the second bend point. Would be your average yearly indexed earnings right there, bend point. And you just divide that by 12, whatever it is. Well, 7391 is what it is. All right, so if you'd have to have $88,000 on average to get an AIME 7391 where you'd be above the second bend point. I don't have that. I could if I worked another 10 years, but who knows. But anyway, so you can see right here, do we really want somebody with a Social Security benefit of $173,595? I just don't think so. I think the best way to do this would be just, if we're going to get rid of the cap, increase that guy and then decrease this guy. That's the way to do it right there. Because they're going to get rid of the cap eventually. Like, we're going to go on a single healthcare system eventually, single payer healthcare system, which will be the death of healthcare. I mean, healthcare is already corrupt as far as the day is long, but at least it's still quasi-private. It's a fascistic healthcare system we're in, for sure. But it's going to be, it's inevitable to go to single payer. And it's inevitable they're going to get rid of the earnings cap. And then the question is, all right, what do you do with the people, the Elon Musk of the world, who make that kind of money and their AIME is that high? Do you cut them off? I said, I just don't think that's going to be, I don't think that's going to fly. I don't think that'd even be constitutional, frankly. I don't know. I'm not a constitutional lawyer. I'm slovenly Josh, for heaven's sake. But that's going to be a problem. And again, if you know something about the getting rid of the earnings cap, if they adjust in their numbers for the Elon Musk getting a higher Social Security benefit, I'd like to see that. I just don't know that to be true. I'm just ignorant. I don't know. But I hear all the time, just get rid of the earning cap, problem solved. I said, okay, well, what happens to the guy Elon Musk? Is he just only going to make $4,000 a month Social Security? No, he's going to make $17,000 or $14,000. All right, love your thoughts. Don't forget to smack that like button. Smack it. Give it a left hook, a right cross, flying elbow, Jimmy Superfly Suka. And if you haven't subscribed, what the hell, dude? Just freaking subscribe. My subscribers are like way down. I'm like, dude. People don't like you. I'm still getting positive subscribers, but they're not. I'm like, what? It's not like it used to be. Okay, it's all good. It's all good. But if you haven't subscribed, just hit that little subscribe button. Make me get over 100. The way it's going now, I'll never break $100,000. 100,000 subscribers. Help me, help you, help me get 100,000 subscribers so I can get that YouTube plaque or whatever it is. All right, God bless. We'll see you.